East?
My advice is anybody who so chooses to go in this place, my advice is don't go. Because if the expectations are too high as to what the government of Uganda can do, and Uganda government doesn't have the capacity. Your expectations are too high, that if you get into problems, we will jump into action, a SWAT team will come, pick you up, and buy you a business class ticket, and bring you. It won't happen. My advice to every single girl, you know the stories, you know what's happening there, stay at home.
So what you're saying is that you're on your own. What you're telling Ugandans
No, they're not on their own.
telling you on your own.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what have I told you just now? Shall I repeat it? You have heard those stories, you girls. You know what is alleged to be happening there. So rather than taking the risk, stay at home. Because your expectations are too high as to what the government of Uganda can and those embassies can do and give you, which you don't have the capacity, unfortunately. So rather than put yourself in that position, stay at home.
You have 640,000 girls who left the country, according to the Civil Aviation Authority, to go into the Gulf. Those numbers could even be bigger. The more reason for your government to take note that we have so many Ugandans living in this region, and therefore we have to keep our eyes and ears on the ground.
We do everything possible to ensure that every Ugandan that needs assistance, what you call council advice, and assistance, will give them council advice within the means of our missions, but not to their expectations or imaginations.
So all you do is advise?
Advise, direct, assist in some cases by giving them some little money or whatever within our means.
You heard of what was happening to those girls. What did you do as a government?
We have protested over and over again. And we made it very clear that it's unacceptable by this government for what.
Well, I hope the girls have heard. I hope every Ugandan has heard. And I hope all parents have heard. Yes, I'm on the committee that helps to try to rescue some of those girls that in the Middle East. But Solomon Sirwanja, I think that voice is good. It's an arming voice. I hope all Ugandans have listened. I hope all the girls have listened. I hope all parents have listened. The bottom line, our country has no capacity. Solomon, I think about 6 months ago, I was trying to reach out people in means of gender and labor. And we failed to get them. But Solomon, I have been a traveler. I have been traveling because of sports. We have what we call travel medicine, we have what we call sports medicine, whatever. And in the Ministry of Health, we have a department, a commission of non-communicable diseases. When I left the country, it was headed by Dr. Sekajugo. And I was working under him since I was the medical commission for track and field in Uganda. I'm just trying to bring out these things so that we know what government of Uganda can do. And also, as a traveler and finally somebody who came to the United States, there are several examples. For every problem that we have in our country, we have a resource person. I'm in the United States, but on arrival in the United States, I think I worked for Indians. But the Indians, what they do, they have their own houses. They have houses, what you call the Indian guest houses. And we slept in those houses, and they pick us in the morning, and they drive us to go and do work wherever we do, and then they bring us back. That is India, protecting its own people in the United States here. I'm wondering why that cannot happen in Uganda, where we have 300 companies registered taking people in the Middle East. 300, yeah, that's the information we were given, that we have about 300 companies taking people in the Middle East. Why can't we organize such that we can have our own supervisors? Besides medicine now, which is my field. When you say 640,000 girls are going to the Middle East or go to the Middle East or have gone to the Middle East, those are medical histories. Those are surgical histories. That is reproductive health histories of girls. Why is the Ministry of Health not deeply involved? Just to coordinate medicine of Uganda and medicine of the Arab world, there should be somebody key in the Arab world at the same time in Uganda. That when we are sick in the Arab world, for example, even the United States where I am, we who are here find it very difficult to treat ourselves. Sometimes people like us are a very big resource for our own people here because we know our people, we know our medicine. Why can the minister just say Uganda has no capacity? The Ministry of Gender and Labor is there, Ministry of Health is there. The young girls who go to the Middle East are young girls in the reproductive health age. Do they have rights when they go to the Middle East? Can they have children? I mean, there's so many things that can be done technically as cooperation, as whatever. And I think that's why sometimes now Ugandans need to rise up. There are some of these guys who should leave offices maybe for some of us to run them. Because I know what can be done. I have experience. I have been preparing Ugandans traveling for sports. Yes. I prepare them and ensure they are medically fit. They have medical records. And we are coordinating with the medicine in the other countries where they are going. So how can you tell us that you have nothing to do? It's just because you guys are placeholders. Useless people. There's a lot the country can do. There's a lot. I've just given an example. I have worked for Indians in the United States here, and I was sleeping in their houses, and they would drive in the morning and take us to work, and they bring us back. And they're protecting Indians. Why can't we have Ugandans protecting Ugandans in the Middle East? Why can't we have medics accompanying, counseling services, whatever? Because these are girls, these are young people with several needs that our country first must take care of before dispatching them. Yes, James William Mugeni, a medical clinic officer and a certified public. In fact, my public management now comes in here. We can manage, we can do a few things here and there. Greetings. Thank you for listening.